Alright, so, gonna be honest, always knew, a video or a day like this would happen. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a script for this like I sometimes do for certain videos. Things happen. So, to further keep my sanity and keep myself from losing my fucking mind, I'm cracking open a beer. It is an Oberon Eclipse Citrus Wheat. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like beers. I'm more of a spirits drinker. I think that's what they're called, whatever. They say like mixed drinks and all that. So yeah, we're cracking open one. Actually, surprisingly enough, that tastes... This actually doesn't taste that bad. I don't like Bud, I don't like Coors, and I definitely, sure as shit, do not like Corona. The beer, not, well actually I guess I don't like both Coronas. Anyways, enough beating around the bush, time to get into it. So, first off, let me say to everybody, Happy Valentine's Day. That also kind of helps me segue into what this video is about. For the longest time, I've never liked Valentine's Day, not for the typical reason you think, not because, oh, it's just, the capitalism, trying to capitalize off of people liking each other, and buying cards, and buying, chocolates and candy, and whatever the fuck, to show that you have affection for somebody, even though you could just say, I love you, and Happy Valentine's Day, and not give them shit, but, this isn't that reason why I don't like Valentine's Day. We are in 2024 now. Happy New Year's, everybody. About 10 years ago, roughly on this day, I had one of the worst experiences of my life. So, preface this, in early high school, before I ended up moving to North Carolina where I finished high school, I used to live in Texas. And from there, I moved to Texas when I was in going from second grade into third grade. And I stayed there up until halfway through my freshman year of high school, which was 2014, and then I moved to North Carolina, where I went to a new high school and finished my time there. So, while I was going to school in Texas, everybody knows I was bullied. In fact, it's one of the very few reasons I actually want to move back to Texas. Yeah, okay, let me finish explaining that, because that sounds really that sounds masochistic as fuck now that I fucking realize what I just said. Oh man, I was bullied a lot in high school. I want to move back there. No, so, funny thing is, for those who know me, or even if you don't, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can tell, I have ADHD. It was a lot worse when I was younger. Like, trust me, controlling my impulses was a non-existent thing. So, when you're little and you get on the teacher's nerves, multiple different things, but, first off, when you get on the teacher's nerves, the teacher doesn't like you, the students also don't like you, because when you're that young and that impressionable, you more tend to follow the leader. Obviously, the leaders in this case were the teachers, the people who are supposed to teach us, and, we're supposed to learn from. So, no, come here, get close. Okay, so, the teacher, most of my elementary school teachers did not like me, and that, of course, transferred over to the kids. The kids didn't like me. Dude, let me tell you, I was bullied to fucking hell and back. Let me tell you, it was bad. I got into a lot of fights, but the funniest thing is, a lot of the higher-ups in the school didn't have a problem with me. In fact, it was only my teachers. Fun fact: I went to this school in Texas, like 3rd and 4th grade, called Savannah Elementary School. It was a school that was in an upscale neighborhood. I mean, obviously, the further down south you go, the better looking a lot of stuff becomes, which is really fucking weird. But at least with the neighborhoods, that I lived in, there were 4 different neighborhoods that all lived close by to each other. There was Cross Oaks, which is where I lived in. There was Paloma Creek, which is where current best friend of mine lives. There's Savannah, and then there was Providence. I've just about been to everyone, not so much Providence, but these are some really nice looking neighborhoods. I plan on moving back to Texas at some point in the near future, Just putting that out there. What is it? I went to Savannah Elementary School from 3rd to 4th grade, and then afterwards they had built a school in Cross Oaks, which is where I started going to my 5th grade. More on that later. Trust me, this is all going to be relevant later down the line. Just stick with me, bear with me. I promise there is a payoff for that. But yeah, no. 3rd and 4th grade year, it wasn't. I don't want to say it was too bad. Like I said, I was cool with the principal. And when I tell you I was cool with the principal, 3rd grade, the principal actually was one of the very few reasons why I actually did well in elementary school. I know that sounds like, oh, elementary school is like stupid easy, but remember, we're fucking like, or at least I assume, we're all fucking adults. A lot of like 3rd grade, every 3rd grade shit that we look back on is like, oh, that shit was stupid fucking easy. Yeah, no, the curriculum at Savannah was like wild. They make us do cursive. A lot of school. I think this is the only school I've ever been to where they make you write, teach you how to write in cursive. They have like this handbook. There were 3 handbooks. There was a math handbook, a cursive handbook, and a reading and comprehension handbook. And you had like every day you did like 1 or 2 pages of each, and if you didn't do those pages, then you didn't have recess. So there was definitely a fucking incentive. Like, hey, if you don't do this, you don't get to play with your friends. So good luck, tard. I was really cool with the principal in 3rd grade on field day. He said if I managed to keep either an A honor roll or an AB honor roll, he would legit go to McDonald's and get me a Happy Meal. So you best believe your boy come around field day, they were handing out report cards. Your boy came with like 90s and above in every part of the class. And when my principal saw that, yo, Mr. Mack, you're a fucking G. When my principal saw that shit, yo, my man went. He brought me 2 Happy Meals. He came back with 2 Happy Meals. Dude, I was like the fucking happiest kid on that day. Again, this is all important, trust me. But my 3rd grade teacher did not fucking like me. In fact, if I remember correctly, we had a color-coded disciplinary system. Basically, the worse you went down, the more you went down the colors, the worse it got for you. Everybody started off on green, and then it progressed until you got to red. It was green where you were basically star student whole day. Blue was like, you were good. There was like maybe once or twice they had to say something and reprimand you. There was, I think it was purple, in which case, okay, you were an issue to the point you had to get sent to the hall. Don't do it again. Orange was, yeah, cool, so, no recess, and we're probably gonna have to call your parents. Red was just straight up, go to the principal's office. We don't want to deal with you. Go to the principal's office. I can remember 3 times where I crossed the red threshold into black. Basically, my teacher didn't like me so much, I was off the fucking board. That's how bad I was. And again, that goes back to the whole, I don't want to say like, oh, blame it on like ADHD, but impulse control. You're a 3rd grade. Imagine a 3rd grader having impulse control, and he's in a classroom with his friends, and already has a hard time sitting fucking still. It was an issue. So a lot of the kids, unless they were straight up like friends with me, like we were cool, a lot of the kids did not fucking like me. In fact, there were multiple occasions where like something happened, had nothing to do with me. The teacher looked, said I did it. I said I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. And a lot of the kids just agreed with the teacher because 1, they didn't like me, and 2, if I got in trouble, more often than not, I got sent out into the hallway, which means they didn't have to deal or listen to me. So that was also a thing. 4th grade, things sort of got better. My teacher, he was alright. Nothing to write home about. Like, bullying sort of got, like, I want to say kind of became less-ish.
like, 4th grade, there's only, like, there are so little things I really remember about 4th grade. I remember my teacher reading this book to us. I don't even remember what the hell it was about. The only thing I explicitly remember was Wings of the Albatross. If anybody can pull up whatever the fucking book that was, because I know for a fact if I read, like, a chapter of it, I know the book. But I remember him reading this book to us, and, you know, we're supposed to, again, that kind of goes back to whole reading comprehension. You know, the cursive shit was back, and I can only remember, like, days where we had, like, indoor recess or something like that. Like, this was back when, like, Bakugan and Beyblade was, like, super fucking popular, so people brought in their Bakugan, and we had a time in, in 4th grade, but otherwise, I mean, and then we go to the 5th grade. I no longer went to Savannah Elementary. This time I was going to Cross Oaks Elementary, and my favorite teacher ever, I mean, my grades never dropped below a I think it never dropped below a B with this teacher, because he knew how to teach, but more importantly, he understood how to teach someone like me. Mr. David, if you ever see this, I doubt you'll remember me. I hope you do, but God, why am I tearing up talking about this, man? Jesus Christ, he was my 5th grade teacher. Oh my God. Mr. David, if you ever see this, I mean, out of all the teachers I've ever had, you were my favorite. You were the best teacher a kid like me could have ever asked for. My God, you, my good sir, are a legend. I salute you. Mr. David was like a fucking G, dude. He was the best teacher I could ever ask for. He made learning fun. He made learning simple. He didn't overcomplicate shit. That's the thing with a lot of teaching. They really kind of make things like a lot complicated than it really is. He never did that. He made it fun. If you ever had a problem understanding anything, he was there. I mean, dude never left you behind ever. It was crazy. I want to say just about you had to try. It was one of those classes you had to try to fail to actually fail. Like, even if you did subpar, minimal effort work, you still got like a B in that class. That is the funniest thing too, now that I actually think about it. There was one, I think that's one of the reasons why my lowest grade was ever a B, because I think at one point I genuinely did lackluster work, and that's what dropped my grade from like a 91 to like an 87. And I think it was like in math, because I never fucking liked math. It dropped my grade from a 91 to an 87, like an 86. And then after that, it went back up to like a 95. It was the craziest thing. Like, you literally had to try to fail, to actually fail. But as for like the bullying part, I was sort of still bullied, because quite a few of the kids who I went to Savannah with, who fucking didn't like me, went to Cross Oaks because they lived in Cross Oak Ranch, the neighborhood. So that sort of persisted. I had one problem with this one girl, not gonna name drop her, but her brother was a fucking asshole. At one point, fun fact, on pajama day of all things, I got into a fight with her. She'd been fucking with me the whole day. I told her to basically fuck off, leave me alone, and she kept fucking with me. And things came to a head where I was a bike rider, and they had like a bike rack where you could like lock up your bike so that way, you know, it didn't get fucking stolen. And things came to a head where at the end of the day, because Mr. David knew she was fucking with me, I talked to him, and he basically told her, hey, quit it, leave him alone. Yeah, she didn't listen. Things came to a head where at the end of the day, I was I'm still in my fucking PJs. I walked to my bike, I put in the lock code, because it was one of those wire ones. It wasn't like a straight up like a chain and then a lock. No, it was one of those black wire ones. So I put in the thing, I unlocked it, got my bike out. She starts fucking with me. I tell her, leave me alone, and I start walking my bike up the little sidewalk, because the way how the school was is that you for those walking or biking home, you walked out the side doors where the cafeteria was. That was the bike rack, and also the back parking lot where the buses are. And then afterward, you walk upward from the sidewalk to the crosswalk, and then from there you cross one of two sides of the street or the road, and then from where I was going, I would have crossed one way and had to cross the other way, because I'm going straight, and then I'd have to go to the left, and then it'd be a straight bike ride home. So as I'm walking up this the sidewalk to get to where the crosswalk is, she comes up in front of me and backhands me. And you know how like if you hit your eye hard enough, or if you like you hit your eye, you get punched or something. When you close your eyes, there's like that flash. She had backhanded me in the eye so hard that I saw that flash when I closed my eyes. And at that point, I lost my temper. I'm gonna be honest. There's a reason I don't like fighting, and this is also gonna come very much into play later. When I fight, my body can't handle adrenaline in fight or flight situations. I can handle adrenaline normally, like if I'm working out, pumping, or if I'm, if I'm like exercising or doing something that's like not fighting that pumps my adrenaline. I can handle it. However, in fight or flight situations, I black out whenever adrenaline starts pumping through my system. And it's one of those scary things. It's like if you drink too much, or if you do drugs and you pass out somewhere and then you wake up and you have no recollection of how you get there. That's what it's like for me. Is I black out, I wake up, and I have no idea what the fuck happened during that whole time I was out. So whatever happened, and I don't remember. So, the thing is, I didn't black out during this. I fought her, but I didn't black out. I just remember seeing red, and I think I hit her one good time. And funny thing is, Mr. David was out there, and he tried to intervene. My mom told me, that he's like, yeah, I saw her hit him. I tried to get to them in time, but I was not fast enough. Kyrie had already hit her by the time I got to him. So, I didn't get in too much trouble. I mean, obviously, they still had to discipline me, but thankfully, since, Mr. David was watching that whole encounter and, knew the entire day that she had been fucking with me, and I told her to leave me alone, like, what are you, a fucking stalker? Get away from me. So obviously they still had to discipline me. I got ISS, I think, for like a day, but she ended up getting like ISS for like 3 days to a week or something like that. Her brother found out, and what is it? And this is also going to be important, because even though she started it and was fucking with me the whole day, the fact that I hit her back, how fucking brothers are. Oh, you hit my sister, regardless of who was in the wrong. I'm going to find a way to get back at you or whatever. This is also going to come into play later. There's a lot of things that's going to come into play later. So keep this in mind. I'm going to take another sip of the beer. Again, honestly, doesn't taste half bad. I'm going to be honest. Anyways. Excuse me. So, rest of my 5th grade year practically goes off without a hitch, It's simple. I easily pass 5th grade with an A honor roll, funnily enough. And then we go into middle school. All hell breaks loose as far as bullying goes, because the middle school I ended up going to was Navo Middle School. From here, all the kids from Savannah, Paloma, Providence, and Cross Oaks all now go to Navo. And so a lot of the people who I didn't see for a whole year because, I stopped going to Savannah, they saw me again. And a lot of those people didn't like me. And so here I am again, and it's basically like pick up where we left off. I started getting back into more fights. So 6th grade year was, for the most part, uneventful. However, there was this one kid I'm not named. In fact, he was one. In fact, fun fact: if you go to one of my old videos, I talked about one of the kids who used to fuck with me. In fact, this is one of the kids who I ended up beating with a metal bottle. Go back to that story, because that also takes place here. In fact, middle school is where I met my best friend Mark. Mark, if you're watching this, what's up, homie? It's good to see you, good to hear from you. Glad we still keep in touch. You're one of the best friends I've ever met. Love you, man. You're like a brother to me. Mark's a fucking G. I met him in middle school, and we bonded because he found out that I love Sonic the Hedgehog. This is when I was going through a hardcore Sonic phase. I mean, dude, like, I hate to say this, but I thought 06 was like the shit for Sonic. I'm like, oh, Joe, this game's fucking tight. But, what is it? You know, that aside, as far as 6th grade goes, mostly uneventful. It wasn't uneventful. There were I was also being bullied by 2 8th graders as a 6th grader. One of them lived on my street, and the other one lived on, like, further up the road, which fucking sucks, because there were other friends that I had who I used to go and hang out with at their house to play games with. Carl, Corey, hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, guys? Fucking miss you. Enjoyed being friends with you. While I mean, if you ever want to get in contact, I hope you see this. But hey, man, y'all were great. Loved hanging out with you guys. You were one of the reasons why I'm pretty sure my being that young was bearable, from being bullied at school and then, you know, shit going on at home. You guys, Mark, and my other friend Javante, y'all were my reason for not going over the edge. So, oh god, I'm tearing up again, dude. Oh man, let me tell you, and being that young and, you know, going through all the shit that I went through, it's nice to have friends like that, you know, oh man, it's nice to have friends like that to keep you grounded, man. Ugh. Anyways, I'm tearing up. I'm getting so far off track. Sorry about that. I need a second. Holy shit. It's not supposed to be a tearjerker video. Or maybe. I don't fucking know. I didn't plan this. What is it? So yeah. 6th grade was like I said, I was getting bullied by 2 8th graders, and a couple of the people they hung out with were 2 kids who were bullying me at the time. Again, one of them I got revenge on. The other one, that's going to come a lot later. In fact, that's kind of the whole preface of this video. You know, there was the first one who I ended up jumping in the bathroom with Mark's water bottle. Again, Mark, sorry for denting your fucking bottle. I know you said it's cool, but homie, I'm gonna buy you a new one. Accept it, move on. Anyways, 7th grade. Fucking hell. 7th grade. Well, okay. So 7th grade is actually when I became better friends with a friend of mine, Javante, who I went to church with. In fact, I didn't go to school with Javante. He went to another school district, which is funny because he had also lived in Paloma, which is also funny because Mark and Javante both lived in Paloma. Javante never went to a Paloma school, and Mark never knew about him, never met him, until one day we all hung out. Because because up until, I want to say up until my 8th grade year of high school, of middle school, I didn't know that Mark had lived in Paloma up until that point, until one time I went to go visit him, just to hang over, and I found out he lived in Paloma, and it's on the same side as where Javante lived, and I'm like, bro, oh shit, I'm like, wait, you fucking live in Paloma? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, Javante lives here. Like, at this point I had already told him about Javante, what a cool fucking guy he was, you know, like, dude, have you met him? Do you know him? No? Dude, we need to all hang out, dude. Like, wait, hold on. Like, I'm fucking bugging out about that. But anyways, 7th grade was the year, was it 7th grade or 8th grade? No, it was 8th grade. 7th grade nothing really big happened. Bullying more or less stayed the same. Obviously, in 7th grade, the 8th graders that were fucking with me had obviously went on to high school. So at this point, it was like now me with these two fuckers who wouldn't stop fucking with me. 8th grade year, I ended up, again, I jumped the one guy in the bathroom with the water bottle because Mark and I shared the same lunch. And the thing is about the lunch at NAVO is there's A lunch, B lunch, and C lunch, which all happen around, I think it was like 4th period. A lunch goes in at at the end of 3rd period, so A lunch goes in, and then halfway through 4th period, A lunch goes to 4th period, and then B lunch goes in for halfway through 4th period, comes back, finishes 4th period. At the end of 4th period is when C lunch goes, and then they come back, and, you know, that whole thing. Oh, wait, no, I had it wrong. No, 6th graders, 7th graders, and then 8th graders. So it's sort of like the same thing, except no grades are mixing and having the same lunches. Alright, so we're in 8th grade. We're the last lunch. So, you know, we go in, and Mark always... Actually, no, I don't even need to re-explain this story. Go watch that old video, because that one goes way more in depth. I'm just going to give a brief synopsis of it. Basically, go in, had lunch, saw the one kid who fucked with me go to the bathroom, gave Mark a look. He realized what the fuck was going on. Gave me his water. Told him I was gonna go use the bathroom. He knew why. Said, "Hey, make sure you give me a refill on some water." I picked up what he was putting down, and I beat the shit out of the kid with a metal water bottle. Came back, told Mark sorry, and showed him that the bottle was dented. Wasn't a heavy dent, but it was dented. Kid never said shit because, I'm gonna be honest, why the fuck would he? Oh, also, side note, 7th grade, our assistant principal changed to a new assistant principal. Dude was a fucking asshole. Already talked about him in an old video. Not gonna bring it up here, unimportant. What is important is throughout the entirety of me being in middle school, my counselor was AG. I mentioned him before in an old video, but I'm gonna mention him here because he is that important. Mr. Phillips, I love you, my good sir. You are also another good reason why I stayed grounded as well as I could. Aside from the friends that I had, dude always had my back. He was one of the coolest every school needs a counselor like Mr. Phillips, because he he was only supposed to be the counselor for 6th graders, but he kept me specifically. I don't want to say I got special treatment, but yes, I got special treatment. But it's because he also knew and understood the issues. So yeah, Mr. Phillips, you are you are the best counselor I have ever had, and I doubt you'll ever see this, but if you do, you made going through high school or going through middle school a lot more bearable. Thank you. I really do appreciate everything you've done for me. But now we go from middle school into high school, and this is where where everything building up has led to this moment, because now everybody goes to Denton High. Oh, actually, no. That's not true. Not everybody. You either went to Denton High or Billy Ryan High. I went to Denton High, and a lot of my friends, with the exception of Mark, went to Ryan High School. High school was meh. Funnily enough, I didn't come back in contact with the two 8th graders who was fucking with me before, because at the time of me going into high school 9th grade, they would have been 11th graders, but I never saw them, and in fact, I'm pretty sure one of them got arrested because of me, because he shot me. In fact, no, the secondary reason why I beat the shit out of the one kid with the water bottles, because the fucker shot me at point blank with a metal BB gun. In fact, I still have the fucking scar on my side, because obviously I was wearing one of those silk shirts that are meant to keep you warm during winter but cool during the summer. Yeah, I was wearing one of those, and he shot me in the side. So it was one of like, it was like a fucking near paper thin shirt, and I just got shot point blank with a gas BB gun. Yeah, no, that shit left a fucking mark. So we ended up calling the police on him, and because he was also hanging out with the one kid. Fun fact, he had a bit of a record because fun fact, he was a piece of shit. So he got arrested, and I think he ended up actually going to jail for like a night or whatever. But I know they put him in cuffs, put him in the squad car, and they left with him. The other kid got he more or less got a slap on the wrist, because I don't think BB guns were considered like weapons that could like, I don't know, like it would be assault with a weapon, and I think he just had to pay like a fine or something. But I think that was really it. And of course, you know, I doubt his parents really gave a shit about it. I mean, because the neighborhood we were living in was like, out of all the neighborhoods, you know, Savannah, Providence, Paloma, Cross Oaks, I want to say in order from like in the class system from lower class to high class, you had Paloma, then you had Cross Oaks, and then I think it was Providence and Savannah. I don't know, I'd have to look that up just to see how the neighborhoods look, because Providence and Savannah were like really high class looking neighborhoods, like they look really nice. But anyways, yeah, no, so I doubt they really even cared. So again, that kind of leads back to why I also beat the shit out of him. And again, he didn't say shit, because why the fuck would he? But now back to being in high school. A lot of shit happened, and again, it brings back to why I made this video. So I'm gonna say right now, this is about to be like the most violent I think I've ever said something. So if you are queasy to stuff like that, then, or like, you know, you don't like violence all that much, skip the rest of this video. Go on about your day, because my god, it gets real from here on out. So some part before halfway through my year of freshman year of high school, I ended up dating this one girl. Not gonna say who she is, but I liked her. I don't want to say like I loved her, because when you're that young, I really don't think you comprehend like love for another person outside of like family. Obviously, like, you know, you can always say I love my mom, or I love my brother, or I love my sister, or something like that, you know. But I had a deep regard for this woman, and this girl or whatever, and we dated for a while. So thing is, around, it was about, like, I want to say like a week or like a couple days before Valentine's Day, and I had found out, due to her telling me, because she ended up breaking up with me like a couple days before Valentine's Day, and she also told me that the reason why she broke up with me was because she was seeing her best friend, who was also a girl. So I was like, oh, okay, alright, yeah, no, fuck you. Turns out she had been cheating on me for like, I want to say, because we had been dating for around like 3 months around that time. About like 3 weeks to a month or so in was when she had started seeing her best friend. And her reasoning as to why she didn't just break it off or whatever, I honestly don't fucking remember. I was probably too fucking upset at the time. I want to say it was because she fucking felt bad or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. So yeah, that already put me in a very, very, very sour mood. And at the time, I don't want to say my home life was bad, but I didn't like being at home that much. Not gonna say why, because I don't want to say it's not that important. So then Valentine's Day rolls around, and you know, I was already in a bad mood, you know. because fucking couple days before. Hold on, I'm gonna have to take another hit of the beer. Excuse me, sorry. But a couple days before, found out that my girlfriend, who I genuinely had feelings for, who I thought liked me back, just kind of just broke it off like it was nothing, and also told me, oh yeah, so I was cheating on you or whatever. So I was already in a very, very bad mood. And like I said, at the time I was still kind of being bullied because, while I fucked up the one bully with a fucking water bottle back when we were in middle school, there was still the problem of the other one. And this is where that comes into play. So lunchtime, Valentine's Day. Or actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go through every event, every period that day. I remember my schedule, dude. I go in. It was first period was it was world history or whatever, and it was biology. I'm stupid. It was biology. Biology. People could already tell there was something wrong with me because I was either joking with people or I was making noises because, again, ADHD, and I still did not understand the concept of impulse control. But I was just silent that whole period, and it got bad to the point where even my biology teacher kind of I'm pretty sure she was nervous because you're like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just go back to teaching. Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered today. I'm just not up for it. Second period, I don't know why this was a legitimate class, but it was like high school 101 or some shit like that. Basically, they teach you it's basically more like home ec or some shit, because they taught you about, because I remember we went over for a whole week, suicide prevention or whatever. It was I don't know why the fuck that was an actual class. Could have had something very important there, like a better fucking elective, or an actual important core class, but that's not the point here. Sat through high school 101 or whatever, and I just was silent again. Normally I had cards with me and I was just playing solitaire. This time I was just kind of just fucking around with them. And when I say fucking around with them, I just remember just spreading them all out on my desk. My teacher didn't really care because I was managing an A in the class anyway. It was stupid easy. But I'm pretty sure my teacher just saw me just spread the cards out on my desk, and then he just kind of just saw me just I was just kind of drawing on them with a finger, just spreading them around the desk or whatever. I was being really fucking weird that whole period. Nobody talked to me, thankfully, and nobody said anything because I'm pretty sure I would have fucking exploded. So then next period was my math period. That one, we had I think we had a test that day, so being quiet wasn't exactly a weird thing. I know, we're taking a test, you need to be quiet, go fig. After that, I think it was just during passing period. My friends fucking checked up on me. They're like, hey, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm fine. And then after my math period, I'm trying to remember which class I had next, or if I just went straight to lunch. Oh no, I had orchestra and then I went to lunch. Or I could be misremembering, but orchestra, it was a nice break from the fucking insanity I was going through. What is it? So fuck, man, dude. I just kind of blew through orchestra. Music, even to this day, is a great way to help me relax. So it was when it was around the time we were close to I'm trying to remember. We were getting close to some concert or whatever. So we were sounding pretty good. I mean, I think except for like the odd like one note miss or like someone's bow going in the wrong direction because they forgot to do a bow lift or whatever. But otherwise we sounded pretty adequate, so it was good enough to where it genuinely just kind of helped me decompress little by little, just kind of like easing the tension slightly, not letting it all go at once. And then orchestra ended, and then we have lunch, and I'm giving that last warning right now. If you don't like hearing about violence or hearing about shit like that, now is your time to leave the video or skip to whatever. I'm gonna have a timestamp. Skip to wherever. So lunch happened, and I had lunch with the last kid who fucked with me, who I never got back at, or I didn't get back at until this moment. So I'm sitting at lunch, whatever. I didn't get a lot to eat because, you know, when you're in a mood like that, you tend to lose your appetite. You forget to eat sometimes. So, you know, I'm sitting at the table and I just have my head down. I'm like, I just didn't want there to be problems. And while I wish I could say I could have just like had headphones on, funny thing about Texas schools, and I fucking hate this, but Texas schools are funny about having phones in class, because what they'll do is that they'll confiscate your phone until the end of the day, and in order to get your phone back, you had to pay like $20 to get it back. In fact, when I went to elementary school at Savannah, one of my phone's battery blew up because they don't turn your phones off, but they sit it in like a wooden cabinet with no ventilation, so it just got hot in the cabinet, and then the battery overheated and blew up. But yeah, no, I would have had like headphones on, but I'm not. But at that day, I'm like, dude, no, I don't want to have to deal with that, because I swear to God, if I get my phone taken and I have to pay $20, I'm killing somebody. The wholesale, I'm gonna kill someone. So, you know, had my head down, and I feel something hit the back of my head. Turn around, I don't see anything. Lay my head back down, feel something hit the back of my head again. Turn around, I don't see anything. Lay my head back down, feel something hit the back of my head again. I look up at my friends, they're like, dude, you know who it is. At this point, I realize what the fuck's going on. Turn around. Fucker's been throwing grapes at the back of my head. Told him, hey, fuck off, I'm not in the fucking mood today. Go to lay my head back down. I felt it hit my head that time, and I blacked out. Now, I'm gonna say right now, at the end of the day, the main reason I don't like Valentine's Day is because of this day specifically. Because I fucked him up to a whole new degree. And I ended up breaking down in class later without even realizing it. And I've always hated Valentine's Day because of this specific incident. Because up until today, I've been trying to remember what I did. Because after that grape hit that last one, I was out. I blacked out. And when I woke up, came to, my God, what have I done? I didn't kill him. I'm not. Christ, I didn't kill him. Thank God I didn't kill him. I'd be in jail if I killed him. But I didn't kill him. But my God, what have I done? So, play by play, because I remember what happened. Ever since that day, I've always been trying to remember what happened when I blacked out, because, again, it's one of the scariest things of being out of control, unaware of everything, and then all of a sudden you're back and so much stuff has happened, and you have no idea where you were, how you got there. So, from what I can remember, at least from what I am adequate with remembering, after that grape, that last one hit the back of my head, I got up, I walked over to where he was, grabbed him by the straps of his backpack, lifted him up, and slammed him on the table. I then proceeded to then begin punching him in the face as hard as I could, numerous times. The football coach and the principal, because the principal assistant principal, and I think I'm trying to think, somebody else all had lunch with my specific lunch specifically, because that day I had B lunch. You either had A lunch or B lunch. A lunch gets first pick, and then B lunch basically gets leftovers. The only good thing about B lunch is that you can get seconds on like A lunch, because A lunch gets first pick. I remember the football coach and the principal attempting to come in to stop me, but anytime they got close enough, I stopped wailing on the kid, turned around and went and acted like I was going to swing on them, and when they backed off, I went back to punching him. And it got bad to the point where at one point the football coach managed to restrain me, but I started flailing, and I think I ended up like elbowing him in the gut, and he dropped me, and I went back to just wailing on the kid again. God, I fucking hate. Good lord. So yeah, it took the school officer to tackle me and pull me off of this kid before they finally managed to calm the situation down. I remember being lifted up in handcuffs, and when I looked at him, all I can remember was there was so much blood. Fuck. So, according to what I was told, the injuries he sustained, he had an eye that was swollen shut. I broke his nose. I busted his chin, gave him a concussion. He had a split lip, lost a few teeth, and I believe that was it. As for my injuries specifically, I had beaten him to the point where my knuckles were almost raw. To the point where it's like, imagine getting the worst gym burn of your life. And that's essentially what my knuckles look like, because I had wailed on this kid so fucking much before anybody could step in. And because of the nature of this, because technically speaking, I acted in self-defense, the worst that could happen to me was I ended up going to Saturday school, which, I mean, in Saturday school, you only go in for a couple hours and then you do whatever the fuck you want. That's the only reason why why they couldn't really do anything worse, because like I said, everybody knew I was bullied, and thankfully my friends and other people were watching that whole thing. Everybody, like, it was very clear I acted in self-defense, so there's not much they could have done about that. However, they're like, yeah, you're on fucking thin ice for that one, because, and I agree with them. Again, I don't regret beating the shit out of him. I just regret the degree of which I took that ass beating, because while yes, ever since like elementary/middle school, fucker had it coming. I mean, it was deserved. However, he wasn't just catching the beatdown of me finally being done with his bullying. He got also my anger and just fucking the shit I was going through, which that had nothing to do with him. I don't regret beating him, I just regret the extent of which I took it. And up until this point, I never remembered what happened, and it's one of the very few reasons why I just never liked Valentine's Day. It happened on Valentine's Day. So, I was able to go to my last period, which was English, which, funny, I shared last period with my ex. So, sitting in that class, my teacher she had heard but chose not to acknowledge it because, look, don't talk about it. You know how teachers are when fights happen or whatever. Don't talk about it. They don't want you to talk about it because it could, incite retaliation, or it just could cause more drama. So she didn't talk about it, and I never brought it up to anybody else because I don't want to talk about it either. But I'm sitting I walk into class, and, everyone's trying to be in a good mood, albeit, obviously there are people who are like, yo, did you see that fucking fight? Yo! Those fucking guys. I walk into class, and the first thing that hits my ear was Bruno Mars's Just the Way You Are, and I just went, sat at my desk, which thankfully was on the other side of the room from my ex. I'm pretty sure she saw or at least heard what the fuck happened, and I'm sitting there in class, and I hear this song playing. I'm just not acknowledging it. One of the people who I wasn't cool with in the class, I wouldn't say he was like a bully or anything like that, or he and I just generally just didn't like each other. But I'm just sitting there spacing out, and then all of a sudden I hear, "Yo, Kyrie, you good?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What?" And he's like, "Dude, you're crying." I'm like, "What?" And I go to wipe my face, and it is drenched in tears. I didn't even fucking realize that this whole time I had just been crying, and I didn't even know it. It was a fucking day for me. Like this whole time, dude. I doubt the kid whose ass I kicked is ever gonna see this, but look, man, I'm sorry for going that far. Worst you deserve is just, I don't know, like a bloody nose, some shit like that. You didn't deserve getting sent to the hospital with that shit, man. I'm really fucking sorry, dude. But that's not also where this ends, because later down the line, after I moved out of Texas and to North Carolina, I went to Heritage. An old friend of mine from Texas who I used to keep in touch with, not gonna name drop him, because he and I aren't cool like that anymore because of me. Ever since I moved, I've always told people, like, yo, Valentine's Day rolls around, just please don't talk to me, please don't fuck with me, just don't interact with me, because up until this point, my main reason for today was just trying my best to fit the pieces together of trying to, recollect what happened, or to the best of my ability, because it's, again, to me, it's terrifying not knowing what happens when you're not in control. And, again, the main fucking cause of me being in that mood in the first place. So, of course, the one friend kind of took a joke too far, and I fucking exploded. And when I say I exploded, I mean I sent him a message back of just laying into him. I brought up all of his dirty laundry. I fucking brought up, his mom. I fucking brought up his family. I brought up just shit in general that I brought up, that he told me in absolute confidence that I wouldn't, tell anybody else. I immediately mocked him for it. I fucking ridiculed his ass. I fucking put him through as much of a verbal ringer that you could put somebody through. And after that, I hung up, and he and I never talked since. And if you ever see this, I really am sorry, dude. I'm fucked, dude. I'm such an asshole, man. It's like 4 years of a friendship went down the fucking drain. It's like, oh man.
If I could take back everything I said, I would. I really would. Jesus Christ, man. God, I'm a fucking scumbag for that shit. I fucking regret it every year that goes by. Oh, man. Again, I doubt anybody who I mentioned here is ever going to see this, aside from Mark, because Mark is an avid... Mark and I keep in touch. He's a subscriber to me, so I know for a fact he's going to see this. Again, yo, what's good, my dude? But anybody else who I mentioned, I doubt they're going to see this. And if they do, I mean, to the certain people who I mentioned in the beginning, man, y'all made living... You made life worth living. To the people who slighted me, fuck you, except for the one who, man, I am sorry for that. You had it coming, just not as much, just not to the point that I took it. Silver lining. I remember everything that happened. I guess it's my way of putting the past behind me, because it's about time I let it go. And now that I can finally be at peace with that whole situation, you know, it's about time that I finally drop it. Put the past behind me. I got what I wanted. I remember everything. Am I happy with what I remember? Not particularly, but am I content with knowing what happened? Yes, I am. That was the whole point. So, if you're still here and you're still listening, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I guess I just needed a way to get this out there. Just speak as if I'm talking to somebody, you know. Thank you for being my ear. I appreciate it. So I don't know how to end a video like this off, so I'm just gonna see you later. Hopefully next video will be the what if, working on the script, finishing up a few things before I start getting the new renders I need for the video. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope this didn't change your perception of me. I hope you don't think I'm a bad person, or if I'm a fucking scumbag, and if I am, then so be it. If not, thank you. Take care, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Be safe out there. See ya.